At the end of the first quarter in 2012, the ARLA report is suggesting that the market continued much the same as it finished 2011. A bit flat, very patchy, very micro market across the country. And some places, strong tenant demand. London was still showing strong tenant demand. Parts of the northern side of the country, northeast and northwest, were both a bit depressed on demand. And that means that tenants' rents are, of course, much more affordable, where, in fact, earnings are much lower as well. As far as landlords are concerned, around the country, there's still lots of opportunities for property to purchase that could be a potential good investment. Again, do your homework, do your research, speak to the local agents to find out what the demand is for. The demand where there's a greatest shortage in most areas tends to be for the family home rather than for flats. And that is quite often where there is the investment opportunity just now, because a lot of that type of property is what is currently on the sales market as well. At the moment, we're not seeing any impact of the first buy scheme introduced by the government on the private rented sector. We don't think that's causing the easing off of London rents, because relatively speaking, it is a very small number of properties that have been purchased under that scheme. It'd be interesting to watch how that goes forward. That could change. The Olympics were always seen as having a real potential to cause problems and raise rents in London. And whilst we have some evidence of a few properties being rented at high prices, the real demand has not come through in the way that everyone anticipated was going to happen. And for a lot of people, that's good news. For the landlord that was perhaps trying to speculate on the Olympics, not so good news. But certainly from the tenant's perspective, that should work quite well. It will also be interesting to see the impact of all the property in the Olympic Village being rented out after the Olympics, once the work has been done to the property. That could have a real stimulus for the East End of London, or in fact it could turn out to be a damper on rents in the East End of London. We're watching with bated breath government announcements around the private rented sector. We keep getting hints, but it's interesting that the Housing Minister recently said that he doesn't think, regardless of the form of tenure, that we will be building enough houses in the country, and that will continue to be a problem for the UK housing market generally.